Hi everybody, welcome back to those who've been hanging with me for some time, and welcome to everybody who's just joining this channel. I so much appreciate it. If you guys can subscribe, it's awesome. It kind of keeps things flowing on this channel and keeps it growing. And if you can like and comment at some point at this video, and I definitely comment back. Okay, so full confession. I was actually going to do this video on third eye, but then I just kind of got inspired to do this on Do Spirits Walk the Earth. Well, first of all, it's October, right? And this is the time of year where everybody is really much talking about spirits, and are spirits stuck on this earth? Are they walking this earth? Is this the time of year when this is really going on? I did something on the thinning of the veil, but I'm going to get more specific into the idea of people believing in the idea of this is a time of year where the spirits are actually roaming the earth. So it's the idea that other times they're kind of in heaven, or they're in another dimension, or whichever terms we want to call. But at this time, the gates open and they're allowed to be in this earthly plane. Okay, so first, before that, I think I have a phone call that I need to take.
Come with me to the grave.
Interesting. Thank you. Maybe this is proof of
I'm coming for you.
spirits do walk the earth. Could it be? Okay, one more.
Look behind you.
All right. You're very lovely. Thank you. Well, that brings me to random thing I just wanted to do. If I'm sure you guys have seen this is an awesome phone. It's one of my fun little things that I love. It's one of the fun things I love in Halloween. I actually love that kind of stuff a lot. But speaking of looking behind me, if you see that skull burning, that skull candle, I actually dressed that for a seance that I did, and I'm kind of using that as a segue. Was that smooth? Into the idea of Do Spirits Walk the Earth. You know me, I'm going to keep it really simple and sweet for you guys. Yes, I do seances. Funny enough, which is why I go, okay, I said to myself, maybe something's telling me to do this subject. I'm doing 2 seances on Halloween. I'll put it in the description if you want to come. It's a public one. They just posted on their Instagram, called At the Wolves. It's in downtown LA. If you're in the LA area, on October 31st, I'm going to do 2, 9:30 to 10:30, and then I think 10, and then I take a break, and then another one for an hour. And it's at the Alexandra Hotel in downtown, and I'll put the description in there. And so the reason why I'm kind of saying this to you guys is because sorry, my words, the phone call disrupted me. It's the idea, do spirits actually walk the earth, and what are these seances for? Day of the Dead and all these type of things that we do to kind of say, okay, the spirits are now roaming the earth and we're going to communicate. So I'm going to answer quickly. No, they don't walk the earth because they're in this realm on a constant basis. So if you imagine a sphere, right? And I've said to you guys before, an onion, excuse me, if you imagine an onion, okay, we're one layer of the onion. We exist in the inner layer, and the spirit world is in the outer layer. However, we're all part of this onion. So that realm is always in contact with this realm. However, most of the time we're tuning that realm out. And so it's not that they are walking the earth, but they are vibrating in this dimension with us, meaning they're always vibrating. Like if I allow myself to tune out everything around me and only tune into that energy, that's kind of almost what I only can start to see. But, you know, I have to like eat and sleep and have a life and do the things that we do. So I've learned over time to tune that realm out. And I think I've explained before, when I do personal readings, one-on-one readings, and you tell me who you want to talk to, and I talk to that person. In a seance, it's different. What we're basically doing is opening up the gates, and we're asking for the energies to come in. Now they're not coming in, what they're actually doing is raising their frequency. Just kind of imagine it being like on a volume. So imagine that you are watching everything on your internet and you're watching on mute, meaning like right now you're watching me, but I'm not really seeing you, right? And so let's say all of a sudden you were able to turn things on where I was able to see everybody who's watching me at this time. That's kind of how that realm is like, but times, a million. I would say times a million, because I'm trying to give you the perspective of this world disappears, it dissipates. It's nothing like this world at all. So whenever people are trying to compare it like they're walking the earth or they're finding their way here or they have arrived, it's not that. It would be like if I believe that when, somebody flipped a switch and all of a sudden I can see everybody who's watching me on YouTube right now all talking to me at once, that you guys arrived. And I would say, how did you get in my house? How are you here? How are you talking to me right now? And, oh, what do you want? You must want something. And you're like, no, you said you wanted to see us all. You flipped a switch. So we made our presence known. So I'm not saying, I've covered things in the haunting video and all this, truth about hauntings and all that. I'm not saying there aren't those who aren't respectful and say, I don't really care about slowly raising the volume or any of that stuff. I'm just going to disrupt when I feel like it and when I feel like it and how I feel like it. Absolutely. There are those that are like that. But what I'm saying is they don't have to come here and they don't have to walk the earth, because walking the earth implies to me people are visualizing that the spirit has to come and roam. They're not stuck either. And that's the other thing that people seem to think when they think about spirits roaming the earth. Most of the time I hear more things like, oh, are they stuck? I don't want them to be stuck. Are they okay? Did they cross the veil? Did they see the light? Did they make it over? You die and you go right out of your body. So the idea that people get stuck, I'm not saying again, and I'm sure you guys can put in your comments to things that you might have experienced or you've heard of or you might have questions of. I am not saying there aren't energies that are lost, and that I cover in the video of, ghosts and spirits. But yes, are they lost? Are there spirits that sometimes are lost? And I don't mean like they can't find their way to the light. I mean, they're lost like how we get lost in this world. You know how sometimes somebody is just like, I really can't find my way. I can't find my path. I've gotten distracted with life, with this, with that, and I just can't seem to be awake and conscious to the present of my life. That is pretty much how it is. Sometimes people who pass are looping time because they're just kind of stuck in that time because they're kind of in shock and a little bit bewildered and they're a little bit lost, and maybe it's a little hard for them to face, the truth about things. But once they do, they realize there's so much kindness and compassion and that it wasn't what they, unconsciously were avoiding. So I want you to understand, it's not like here. We're very used to the idea of getting to a destiny. We're used to like, I leave the house, I get in the car, I drive somewhere, I'm there. I go on a plane, I go on a boat, I go on a train, I call someone and I make a connection they pick up. We're used to these beginning and ends, and we're used to kind of these definite understandings. And so when people are saying that spirits roam the earth, it's not a disrespect to different cultures, which I absolutely respect all of these cultures that celebrate these things. I love the Day of the Dead. I love Samhain. I respect all these kind of things. But I feel like we can start to look at things in a more progressive and more futuristic way, in the idea that maybe we understand things a little bit more because of technology has helped us understand, oh, maybe we can exist in more than one place. Maybe we can actually like project our imagery and send messages to people we can't even see, and somehow they're seeing them. I mean, everybody who watches this video, I don't know every single person. I don't know their face. I don't know their name, right? But I'm pushing, something out into this ether world of the internet, and people are seeing it. Some people are responding to it. Some people aren't. You kind of can take that template times a million, and you can kind of get an idea. So I don't want people to see the idea, oh, spirits are just roaming the earth at this time, and I got to be careful because, oh no, they're roaming the earth and they can, get me at this time, or disturb me at this time, or they're lost and I have to like make sure I do something to help them find the way. When people pass, they pop out of their physical body pretty well, and they go into this other realm pretty well. It's really not as difficult as people think. Matter of fact, most what I hear all the time is that it's so much more simpler. It's so much more simpler. It's much more simple. I think that's the proper way, than they had imagined. That I hear over and over, if I knew it was going to be this easy, if I knew I was going to be able to pass and go into this realm this easy, I probably would have not been so afraid in life, especially afraid of death. So I want people to kind of understand that doing rituals and doing those things are completely fine. But the idea that someone is stuck and they aren't aware, if someone's trying to talk to you, if someone wants to communicate with you, if you're getting messages like that phone call, if you're getting messages with that phone call, you need to hit me up and let me help you, because that's a little much, and that's going over the line, or you need to just tell them to cut it out. But I'm saying, like, if you get the feeling that someone's trying to make a connection with you, if someone's actually trying to seek you out, and a lot of times people say, oh, they must be lost, or maybe it's this time of year, it's Hallows Eve, it's this time of the dead. No, it's just that they're very excited to have that connection. They want to know that the connection hasn't died and they haven't disappeared. And so what you can do at this time of year, if you feel more connected, if it's something you feel like, okay, I really believe that the spirits are coming into this realm more, then go ahead and open yourself up to it and talk to your loved ones. But I just want people to not visualize that there's like a roaming of the earth, because the other part that comes into play is, okay, then there must be like, evil, demonic, more sinister, dark energies that are trying to roam this earth. That's not what happens. The reason why you do protection when you're doing these things, it's not really only to protect you from something dark and sinister, but it's to protect you from things that are more kind of trickstery and think it's fun to kind of play games and make you think that they're grandma when they're not. And you're just kind of basically saying, I'm going to open up a freeway and let anyone come in. So in seances, what we're doing, at least the way I do them, I do participation seances, where instead of me saying I'm going to talk directly to you and you're going to tell me who you want to talk to, we're opening up the energies, and you're basically saying, okay, anybody in this room, but it's really the people who are connected. So that brings me to my last point. When people think of seances and they think of the idea of spirits roaming the earth, they think of it as the spirits are connected to that space, that it's only that they're connected to that space. But that particular space could have definitely an energy or a residual of something that maybe wasn't good, or maybe was good, or just had a lot of interesting, passerbys, people who came and go, and in that space. And then people get fixated on that space, and they're going, oh, there's just a lot of spirit activity, and you're open to it and you're paying attention to it. So other spirits kind of jump on over and say, okay, like at that place everybody seems to gather. At a seance, it's pretty much what's happening. They know that you're agreeing that you're going to talk to whoever is in, not only in that space, but maybe some others are welcome. And I have that happen, and I know how to push those ones out, how to say, okay, I don't think you're for anyone here. I can tell right away by the way they vibrate, and I can tell, and even you can tell. So I just kind of want you guys to kind of look at this as a time, rather than, oh my gosh, these souls are lost and everything, that you get to be in this awesome energy where you get to kind of really find yourself, maybe allowing yourself to connect, because maybe it's a little easier because there's a collective whole that is agreeing that spirits aren't so scary, that isn't a bad thing, versus to other times of the year where people tend to do that. But if you are interested in something like this, then maybe you'll give yourself permission to jump off and start exploring. So do spirits roam the earth? Not really, because they're connected to this realm all the time. What we're doing is we're asking them to turn the volume up and speak a little louder, and so we can be aware and maybe make that phone call. Actually, I've had some things like that happen, and I'll share that another time. Thank you guys so much. I'll put in the description, and I think the next one I really want to do how to open up the third eye, because opening up the third eye, that's a popular term, I know, but it really just means opening up your sight, and how to open up your sight to feel and hear the other realm and other things like that. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of the week. I'm going to be in Montana reading this week. If anyone's in that area, it's on my website, DaleLevine.com. I'm pretty booked up. I'm doing classes in Medium Gallery and all this kind of stuff. You can follow me on Instagram, Dale Levine. You can follow the podcast, The Witch in the Medium, that I do with my co-host, and on here. And I think that's it. Oh, my website, AdeleLevine.com. I think I said that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Remember to listen to yourself, follow no one, listen to the inner voice. Let me know. I'm trying to look at some of the things that people kind of asked me to do in October, but if there's other things that you're interested in, while we're kind of in the season, let me know. Thank you, guys. Trust yourself. Always trust yourself. Spiritual leaders and teachers are only here to guide, not people to follow. I like to say that. See you soon.